Good morning, friends. Today I'm going to discuss about one more a nice, important English poem which was written by S.T. Coleridge or Samuel and S.T. Coleridge, Samuel Coleridge. Like that, the name of the poem is that. Name of the poem is and that Frost at Midnight. This poem deals about his um, childhood experience, which he was conceived when he was a small child and living in his hometown, and what was come across in his life. How did he spend during the night time along with her the parents during the night times. Every people used to enjoy a lot of things in our hometown that will give a permanent happiness to us and also fear to us. The first times we come across the fear in our heart and mind during the night times, the sound which is caused by that owls and fox and cats. This is screeches, the sound of the frog, the sound of the some kinds of the strange birds, the groaning sound of the foxes. It develops some kind of obscurer, the imaginary creatures in our body that will create lot of problem and suffering in that. We can recall that things when we become that very old man or grown up persons. But like that, what did experienced Coleridge the same manners I was experienced myself when I was a small boy. I experienced a lot of things. That is same thing cannot enjoyed by my son, by my daughters, and you. And more or less, I was living in a beautiful hamlet with a very good nice pond. I used to take bath in the well, and I used to swim in the pond. I used to swim in the well. Like that, I used to collect fruits from that many trees during the daytimes. I used to catch the fish. I used to travel on the back of the buffaloes. During that weekend, I was given that chances go for grazing the cattle in the field, and also like that whatever we enjoyed beautiful things during the daytime, that will be recalled during the night times. The daytimes the same things which was giving pleasure to us, happiness to us, the same things will develop fear in the darkness, because the darkness associated to the Satan, brightness associated to the God. God rules the day, Satan rules the night. The power of the Satan gives fear to all the people. The power of the God, which used to give courage to all the people, we come across like that. Like that, S.T. Coleridge also experienced a lot of things when he was a small boy, along with his parents are living in the beautiful villages after become the brought up person. Due to civilization, not possible to people live in that a small town, only reliance with that agriculture work as well as agriculture alliance work, agriculture related works like rearing cattle and doing some kind other like that qualities are that value added products, agriculture value added products had been developed in those days, my dear friends. Now I am going to see regarding with that. Before going to see about that frost at midnight, I would like to say something about who is S.T. Coleridge. S.T. Coleridge is an English poet, and he born in the year of 1774 and 1834, and he is a very good English poet, a romantic poet, literary critic, and philosopher, theologian. Even Lord Jesus Christ also one of the very good nice theologian. Buddha is also very good nice theologian, and Muhammad Prophet is also theologian. Even that Hindu religious leaders like Adi Shankaran in the initial stage, he is a theologian of Advaita philosophy. Advaita philosophy. Even Nityananda is also theologian because he used to read many scriptures, including Bible, Quran, and Bhagavad Gita, and many more holy scriptures like Rig, Yajur, Samanam, Adharvanam. If you read all those things, definitely you will get that profound knowledge, very deep knowledge. You can realize, you can bring out the real meaning, the real essence of anything what you see, what you read, what you think. You can bring out like this. So theology is, by theology you can get that real permanent pleasure in this world. And along with his friend William Wordsworth, you know that William Wordsworth is the pioneer, the prominent persons to establish the romantic movement from that materialistic world into natural world. The great work was done by Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge, Shelley, Byron. These people bring the peoples to from the world of nature into the world of nature from that metaphysical poet. And metaphysical also is essential. Without knowledge of that metaphysical, we cannot realize the theological things. Metaphysical, and also this Renaissance totally deals about the modern world. Yeah, deals about the materialistic world, but metaphysical world is used to give a lot of importance to the religion, theology, God and goddesses. Regarding with this, William Wordsworth, the founder of Romantic movement in England. Later, it was spread all over the world, and spread from that. The member of the Lake Poets, many Lake Poets are there, and that S.T. Coleridge is also among the prominent member of the Lake Poets. Now, who are the Lake Poets means William Wordsworth. First person is in the Lake Poets is William Wordsworth. Second is S.T. Coleridge. Third one is Robert Sate, Dorothy Wordsworth, Charles Lamb, Mary Lamb, Charles Lolliot, Lolliot, and Hartley Coleridge, and John Wilson and Thomas De Quincey. These are the prominent and important late poet. Among them, Coleridge also. His famous work, he is also the volumes of that collaborated with Charles Lamb. Charles Lamb essays, you hear about this Charles Lamb essays to deals about his childhood experience with South Sea House and East India Company. India has become that developing nation with the help of that East India Company only. Robert Sate, Charles Lolliot. His work, The Rime of the Ancient Mariners and Kuplagan. His major prose work is Biographia Literaria, is that major work. His critical work, especially on William Shakespeare, and was highly influenced and he helped introduce the German idealistic philosophy to the English speaking culture, and he coined that many familiar words and phrases, including suspension of disbelief. Suspension of disbelief is the famous, the kind word which was introduced to the world by S.T. Coleridge. Suspension of disbelief, and he had a major influence on that Ralph Waldo Emerson and American transcendentalism. American transcendentalism means transcendentalism. American transcendentalism. It is that 19th century USA American movement. It is developed in that 1820s and 1830s in that New England in America. A core belief in that inherent goodness of the people and nature. Actually, the people have that some goodness, good characters, good attitudes, good behaviors. That is inbuilt in their gene. We have to identify and realize that to accept all those things from her. And his famous word is suspension of disbelief. He had major influence with Ralph Waldo Emerson. Ralph Waldo Emerson is one of the founder of this transcendentalism, and he wrote this poem in February 1798. February 1798, the time not such a development of this advanced materialist development was not happened, but anyhow they enjoyed full of forest. People used to live. The part of conversation it is that the frosted midnight. The poem is the part of conversation poem. Conversational poems. He speaks or mules over that different topics as if in that conversation with readers. It deals about his childhood experience in the negative manners. It deals about childhood experience in that negative manner is important. It expresses the hope that Coleridge's son Hartley would become a true child of nature. Hartley become the and a child of nature. Hartley, his son become. He wants his son live in that materialistic world town, but he wants to make his son to live in that nature because natural life is more beautiful and more interesting than that artificial the world of nature. Artificial world cannot give that very the peace and happiness in our life, and it capture that gentle drifting, the tale night thought during the night times. I also imagined myself to thought about many interesting things, how that some of the ghost full persons making noise even in this 720 720 like this full of noises, but during the night times and the full moon days, black moon days, we cannot make. Why they are making this kind of noise means no physical work, no hard work. If they have that physical work and hard work, they will not make noise like this. They will go and take rest. It's only soft work, mind work. That is why they are fulfilling that needs and aspiration of the physical body to giving all these kinds of the and sound and unwanted things and violation of that rules and norms. It is happening because of that lacks of the drill should be given like a drill should be given like a soldier is very important. So many things during the night time I used to do and think whatever we read that any crime novels that will appear screened in our mind, whatever we see that any incidents like death, funeral ceremonies and unairy murders and fight, or that chasing of animals and snakes, everything our mind will develop as that absurd images that will create a great fear. Due to out of fear, we go and very sleep with very close to the father and mother or grandfather, grandmothers, like this. Such a thing is not possible to St. Coleridge to and is possible he experienced many things like this St. Coleridge, but these things did not given by to anyone to his son Hartley. Hartley. The theme of the poem is divine nature. It deals about the divine nature. Divine nature is silence. Silence is that divine nature. Noise is that satanic nature, and divine nature and hell nature for this. And singing is that divine nature, but the groaning sound out of pain and suffering is called as a and satanic nature. But this poem deals about divine nature, and childhood and hope are that major theme of it. Childhood and hope is very important. The life is faith. What is life means? Life is faith. No life, no faith, no life. Like that, hope is another word for faith. The hope is essential. Allah, suppose why we are studying, we have the one hope we will get some job, and that is that things by hope only. What is the assurance? We have the hope exactly. Sun will come by 6 o'clock a.m., 6 a.m. with the hope only. But like this, the divine natures and hope are the major themes of it. The speakers true reflect that nature and that faith play that crucial part in this poem. Crucial part. I will come and continue that rest of things after entering to this. The Frost at Midnight, the poem consists of 5 paragraphs. The first paragraphs consist of 15 lines. The second paragraphs consist of 8 lines. Third paragraphs consist of 21 lines. And fifth paragraphs consist of 10 lines. Totally 74 lines he dreamed and he imagined himself when he was a child during the night times. I am going to read out the things. And the frost and perform its secret ministries unhelped by that any wind. The frost is falling down, deposited, and also and the cover all the places during the night times without the help of any wind, any wind, no wind. That is why that will come as that the frost means the solid form of the water falling down from the sky, deposited in the white colors. Wind, the owlet cries came louder, and owlet means the small young one of that owl is a cry making sound, and they came loud and loudly that owlet cry, and hark means listen again, and loud as before the owlet. That means the mother owlet had gone somewhere to search something. The inmates of the cottage in this village, like this cottage nearing places, and all at rest, and have left me to the solitude. No one is in that place, like Kerala houses, I think so. All the inmates had gone some distant places, take rest, and he was solitude, lonely, alone in that place with the suits. Obscurer musing. Obscurer means if we close our eyes, we imagine like this in the darkness to think about that something. If you look at that trees, that will appear as a giant or Satan or animals or snakes or imagines. Obscurer by mind is create some kind of and images. The save that at my side, my cradle infant slumber peacefully, and my cradle infant, my small child is sleeping in that cradle and peacefully, because the child don't have nature of thinking about the past or in that present. That's why peacefully is sleeping. It's a calm indeed. It is a calm. It is very silent. It is very peace and peaceful, and so calm that it is disturbs and vexes. Meditation with it is strange. Meditation it is a strange. Calm silence is just like in doing that time and meditations. The extreme stillness and silence, extreme silence, very deep silence, and the no sound is in the sea, no sound is in the hill, no sound is in the woods and forest. It was too silent in that place from there in that spot. This populous village, the sea and hill and wood, with all numberless going on life, inaudible. There is no sound. Was a sound in that place. And all the activities going on silently, the activities night activities going on, inaudibles and dreams, and thin blue flames in the fireplace in the hearth. There is a blue flames and the no fresh wood is food, and lights on my lower burnt fire. Without a hearth, without a fireplace, British people cannot live during the winter season in most of the time. And fireplace is very important. That is the coldest country. And cure not only that flame, with fluttering on that grat, the low light, low flame of that fire in that fireplace, and fluttering means the how that butterflies is flying very quickly at the time to take the nectar from the flower very quickly and speedily. How that the kingfisher is flying, look at that fish and stand still and look at to catch the fish like that. Fluttering, the flame is also dancing. Still flutter there, the soul unquiet things. Methinks it is a motion in this hush of the nature, and gives it to the dim sympathies with me, and a whole live, and a whole who live making it that and companionable form, who live that companion, gives it the dim sympathized with some of that invisible spirit is also, and with them either good angel and bad angels and other dead souls, and being as that companion to that people. St. Coleridge and his so imagine during the night time huge puny flaps, very small flaps at the movement of that fresh idling spirit, and the idling of this ideal spirit is the moving here and there during the night times. The Saturn will come at the time you can smell the see this jasmine, then the sound of this jasmine, then you hear that movement of this snow, like that flaps fritzling by its own moods, it's interpret everywhere, the echo or mirror seeking of itself, and makes a toy of thought continuously. That thinking is that the coming again and again colorful in this, in the third paragraph. But oh, how oft at the school with the most believing mind, the school times we people to believing everything without raise the questions, and presagible have I guessed upon the bars, have I passed upon the bars to watch that the fluttering strangers, and is soft with the unclosed lids, closed is not released, already is had a dream at unclosed lid, and the some of opening, the eyes is not closed, some of the dead body is not closed means that it is open. Is look at the time my father is alive, so was kept at the time on this fire places of my sweet birthplace, and that old church towers, and whose bells the poor man's the only, and music rings from that morning to evenings, all the hot fair days, so sweetly that they stirred and haunted me. Everything is come. What are the things I have seen? The church bell and poor mans and beggars and animals and birds. What are the things he experienced? He saw everything is comes in his mind during the night times, uh, along with his only child Granny, and slumbering in that spot. Cannot possible to take sleep regarding to with this. Most like it's and articulates the sounds and things, sounds and things, articulates the sounds, articulate. If we hear any sound, whether the sound of the snake, or the whether sound of the wolf, or whether sound of the fox, or word of the Satan, or an evil spirit, we think like this. This is to that come. So cast I, kill that something. I dream it, lulled me to that sleep. Lulled me to sleep. I dream, lulled me to sleep. Sleep prolonged my dreams. Sleep prolonged to my dreams. Keep on going and extended my and thinkings. And so I brooded. I am thinking, brooded, and all that falls on mine, mine awed by that and stone perception and stone perception, the face and eyes and the fired with that monk studying on my swimming books, swimming books. I studying about my swimming books. Save if that he studied that swimming art of swimming is learned through that through the help of that some books. But I within or 10 seconds I learned that swimming without the help of anyone. All around surrounded by the higher secondary school boys was already in that well. I asked them to bleed them, brother, elder brother, teach me for swimming. Immediately they strengthened me and give me courage. Hey, we are here and we say you can and jump into the well. I jumped into that. No one is helped, but I myself go and touch the bottoms as well as they come out swimming with. They asked me to move your hand and leg like a cycle paddling, and immediately I learned. I felt happy. Then again I was swimming in that even ocean and reached some distance from that roaring roaring silent roaring oceans area into the silent places myself. And my swimming box save it to that half open. They say if that door is half opened, I, uh, I snatched, and that the honesty, the hostly glance. If through the open doors, look at that, everything is come as that during night time is like a ghost. And still in my the heart leaped up. The heart is leaped and functioning. For still I hoped to see the stranger face, townsman, or that aunt and sisters, and more behold, and my playmate, when we both were clothes alike. So he need that some of that new friends arrived in that this part is very important. He wants some other companion to lead that. He cannot control that thinking and ponderings about the nature in his life is more important. So expecting for this, dear baby, the slippest cradle by my side, my dear baby. But what was happened to his wife? What was happened to other people? We know not. And he was living with his baby. But what about his mother? Something was happened, is not mentioned here. Whose gentle breathings they heard in that deep calm, such a silence. The baby is sleeping, and while that baby is inhaled the air and also exhaled, that was listened by that, harked by the ST Coleridge. ST Coleridge, the fill up that interpressed interprets vacancies, and momentary passes of the thought, my baby is so beautiful, my baby is so beautiful, it is thrills my heart, my baby is beautiful. All the parents, father and mothers, to look at that the son and daughters from distance place, they get some kind of the pure happiness, the original happiness in their heart, like that. And Coleridge also enjoyed get some kind of even that fearful situations, thinking about many dangerous hard things in his mind. He gets some kind of he concentration turned at his child, turn at his and baby. That's why he started to enjoy happiness in it. My baby is so beautiful, it is thrills my heart with tender gladness, tender. So the mild happiness he get he look at that when I first times look at my son by keeping in his finger in his mouth, that will give very happiness in my like that gentle happiness. The tender gladness is essential to all the people. Now the people get that wild gladness that is waste, and tender means very soft and mild. The happiness will last long for that very long times. Thus to look at the and the thing that thou shalt learn from that other other laws. And in far other scenes, for I was reared in that great city. In that great city, you cannot enjoy all the things. You cannot see all the things. The pent mind and the cloisters him, and saw not lovely but that sky and stars. Everywhere sky and, whether it is city or village or town or that whatever it may be, the sky and star is permanent. But a forest, lake, river and woods and other hamlet experiences, you cannot, that is not the permanent. And saw not lovely but that sky and stars, but though my baby and shalt wander like a breeze. Oh, my baby, now again started to thinking about the future of the child. My baby and Hasley, name of that child name, Hasley must wanders like a breeze. How that breeze? Breeze means what? Tendril. The breeze, gentle breeze is how moving in this world. Like that, my child is also moving there. Well, my child must, if you sensitive that breeze, you will get happiness. You will forget your burdens. That your body will be energized. Like that, my son will become that useful person, beneficial person to all the peoples to from there in this spot. Which images in that bulk, both lakes and shores, and which images their bulk, both lakes and shores. Images of this and both lakes, where that freshwater lodging area, Viranam Lake, Chambrambakam Lake, Caribbean Lake, like that is so many lakes. And also shores means seashores, and the mountain cracks. My son must see all these many lakes, freshwater lodging areas, as well as the shores of this very all over the famous. My son must get the enjoyment of this beauty of the mountains. So shalt thou see and hear, see and hear. My son must enjoy a lot of things to see. There are places you must see, the things you must do like that. Here it is also giving for this. The lovely shapes and sounds of lively shapes and sounds of intelligible. They were all the artist sculpture, all that work of the human beings must be seen by my son. That is the eternal language. That is the eternal language. The lovely shapes and sounds intelligible of that eternal. The cuckoo sound is intelligible, and also this is some linnet and singing birds. The sound is intelligible. The sounds of the thunder, the sounds of this air, the sounds of the water, and sound of the and that is many things. Be happy human beings and singers. That's a permanent one, eternal language, which that God utters, and who from the eternity doth teach himself, and himself in all, and all things in himself. Everything we have in our body, the body is in that. அண்டத்தில் உள்ளது பிண்டம், பிண்டத்தில் உள்ளது அண்டம், அண்டமும் பிண்டமும் ஒன்றே ஆராய்ந்துதான் பார்க்கும். What are the things is in that world? That things is in our mind, in our body. What are the things is in the body and mind? It will comes down and go and created in that place. Himself in all, and all things himself. Himself, the great universal teacher, who is the nature is the universal teacher. Nature only give that lot of lessons to that human beings. This kind of conception of this building and rooms and all the invention and many more things is only given by the nature only, whether it is artificial or natural things. Everything is natural. The great universal teacher, the nature, and he shall mold thy spirit. Your spirit will be molded by that. Nature is more important. And the giving that make it ask. That's in the final fifth stanza. I am going to read for this. Therefore all the seasons shall be sweet to thee. All the season. What are the seasons? The spring, winter, autumn, summer, autumns. These are that summer, winter, spring, autumn. Yes, and in that season, all the season has that beautiful things. In the winter season, you can get the heavy rain, pouring of that rain, the experience during that summer season. All the agriculture activities and the work flowing of the land, preparing of the land, agriculture showing many more things. In the spring season, all the new plants and new heads of that blade produces flowers and many more things regarding. In the autumn season, summer season, you can get some kind of ready to harvest for in autumn season. You will get plenty of fruits and you will get a lot of experience of that sun. The weather that the summer the cloth, the gentle earth with the greenness, gentle earth, greenness. The gentle earth must have that greenness. Now everywhere is a road, everywhere is a aerodrome, everywhere is a railway, and many things. There is no possibilities to get and greenness and gentle earth with the greenness or that redbreast sit and sing betwixt that tuftlets. Redbreast is a kind of musical bird. During that winter season, they must come and sit between that ice, the park and the trees, cloud and singing for this. Of the snow breeze, bare branches, snow bare branches of these mossy apple trees. There were some trees are there, very big and huge amount of that leaf is there, but no lack of fruits. We cannot get in that times. The red-breasted bird used to come and sit on that and mossy apple tree, full of leaves only, no fruits, only ice deposited and fixed in the form of tuft. Tuft are that snow in that places. While that night touch and night snow houses, the smokes in that thunder, smoke in the sun, the smoke is coming out due to the fire which was custody during the night times. Whether the eavesdrop falls, eavesdrops means listening the information of others and without the knowledge of that speaker. That is called eavesdropping. Is happened during the night times and hard only in that trance of the trance of that blast, or it's a secret ministry of the forest. The secret ministry of the frost is that shall hang them up in the silent icicle means the ice, the frost is and the frozen, the fallings like or a rod, the frozen logs. Icicles means the ice frozen and the tips you can see in that kiln. They shall hang them up in the silent icicles and quietly shining in that quiet moon. Even that the icicles and some of the salt water falls become frozen immediately, suddenly, that we cannot move and stand still. That times look like very beautiful in that moonlight is glittering that the icicles, the ice, the artificial ice which was developed by that snow and chillness during night times, glittering like a diamond in the sky. It look like glittering. It's a very good, nice, wonderful poem. We are also during the night times enjoying and imagining a lot of things like St. Coleridge. I used to imagine, see many natural things. I was once lived in that forest among the one day lives with the animals. The another day used to live with and friends in the banks of the bank of the very pond and used to live in that agriculture field and working. The another day used to go far in the Enfield, but even I touched the Enfield, but I cannot. My dream was buying Enfield and going on that because I was helped by my one of the passerby helped me to take me to the school in the Enfield. All the young boys come and, hey, who is that man? I used to say he is my uncle. That is working. He is working in the forest like that. Used to say, from that day onwards, I want to buy. Except me, all people having Enfield many things. One day I used to live with that dead bodies. One day I used to live with the huge amount of the snakes and chasing me Like that, many people enjoying a lot of things by obscure images happening in our mind. That kind of activities should be and stopped unless we cannot get any sleep anything for this. Turn our interest. Through this, what we come across means if you look at if you turn our mind to the darkness, definitely we will get that the fearful and the painful and unwanted, unnecessary experience dreams. If you look at that good side, like when you look at that owl and other things, he gets some kind of fear in his heart. If you look at that other inmate, many more things. If you look at the child, he gets some kind of happiness. Like that, we have to turn our interest and involvement and mindset focus for the brightest side and not to the darkest side. Or we have to make an attempt to make the dark side into the bright side. That is essential, my dear friend. Very good, nice poem has been written. So it will this point take me to my childhood days. Now I am 52 years old man. Now I am getting all the recall what I did in that during the night times, thinking about the sea in my mind during the night times, especially in that winter night times, in that small hut. Now I am living in this only person and share and realize like this and get you kind of things. If you read come across realize all those things that will give permanent happiness to us, help us to develop our mindset is very important by reading like this nature. And live for the nature and live for the nature, because nature only and give life to all the species of this world. Thank you so much, friend. Bye.